Hey everybody, welcome to another video from Intuitive Race Products. We are very excited to introduce our new VYPER clutch specifically designed for the Cobra 50cc motorcycle from years 2013 to present, or any bike that has that new triangle crank in. The biggest difference between the VYPER clutch and the stock shoe clutch is, well, everything. First thing you will notice is that it's a disc clutch. It is quite smaller in diameter, creating less rotating mass. The three state-of-the-art proprietary carbon fiber discs give you 15 square inches of friction surface area, while the stock shoe clutch allows for just 5 square inches. Yeah, that's 3 times the surface area, and that gives you triple the torque capacity. The stock shoe clutch uses Belleville washers to adjust the stall speed, while the VYPER disc clutch can be adjusted using the 5 adjusting screws, and this can be accomplished without removing the clutch from the engine. The VYPER clutch has steel floaters that separate the frictions that are CNC machined billet material for long-lasting performance. The cam action levers provide that smooth but superior clamping force that only a disc clutch can give you. This technology will give you the hole shots at the starting gate along with the smooth engagement through the corners, unlike that on-off feel of the shoe clutch. Once the starter nut is off, removing the 5 socket head screws are all that is necessary to separate the lever support from the drive hub. Removing or replacing the frictions and or the floaters are a snap, and this all can be done with the clutch on the engine if necessary. Before you take the clutch apart, measure the spring height so that you will know where to readjust the springs for the same stall speed you had prior to removal. Use a 1/8 inch T-handle to remove the adjusting screws along with the springs and the retainers. Full disassembly of the clutch is fast and easy. Next, removing the pressure plate from the lever support, giving you easy access to the levers and the dowel pins. Please note that most of these parts are typically not wear parts. The frictions, the floaters, and occasionally the springs are all that is really necessary to keep an eye on. You will be impressed with the minimal maintenance these clutches require. Reassembly is just as easy. First, we slip the dowel pins through the levers and slip the levers into the slots on the lever support. Slide the pressure plate onto the back side of the lever support, holding the two together. Place the spring over the pressure plate stanchion and place the retainer over the spring. Using Loctite, place the screw through the retainer and the spring, but don't tighten until you have all the springs on for final stall speed height adjustment. Place a friction disc onto the drive hub, followed by a floater, and then another friction disc, and then the second floater, and finally the third friction disc. Place the lever support onto the drive hub. Use a 9/64 inch T-handle that also fits an 832 socket head, and tighten the socket head cap screw down. Make sure you use Loctite on these as well, and tighten to 100 inch-pounds. Now let's go through the removal of the stock shoe clutch and the replacement with the VYPER clutch. First, let's remove the brake pedal. Place an oil pan below the motor and loosen the oil drain plug to drain the oil. Remove the cover screws and pull the cover off. Use the special tool available from Cobra or from Intuitive Race Products to take off or put on the starter nut. In this case, we'll be taking the starter nut off. After pulling the starter nut off, use the 3 screws from the case to pull the stock shoe clutch off the shaft. Remove the triangular ID washer, followed by the drum, and then lastly remove the thin thrust washer behind the drum. Next, place the step washer onto the shaft first and slide it all the way to the shoulder by the main bearing. It's very important to make sure that the step side is facing out and the flat side is facing the shoulder. Place the drive unit of the VYPER clutch into the VYPER basket. Be sure that the friction tabs are seated into the basket slots. Slide the complete unit on the shaft and wiggle back and forth to ensure that the teeth of the basket are aligned correctly with the drive gear on the tranny shaft. Also, the triangle on the clutch hub must seat onto the crank. If the clutch is correctly installed, you should see 6 or 7 threads showing on the crank. Next, check for in-play between the basket and the drive unit. You must have a little bit of play between, say, 25 thousandths, give or take 10 thousandths, so the clutch will not spin freely. Next, using that special tool, install the starter nut and be sure to use red Loctite. Using an IRP spanner wrench will help hold the VYPER clutch while tightening, but it is not needed if you're using an impact wrench. Tighten the starter nut to 40 pounds. Use a dab of grease to help keep the gasket in place while installing. Next, install the cover. Tilt the bike and install 450 milliliters of oil and replace the oil fill plug. Reinstall the brake pedal. So there you have it, the complete description and installation of the VYPER racing clutch from Intuitive Race Products. If you're looking for a superior performing clutch and you have had it with the endless maintenance of a shoe clutch, give VYPER a look. If you have any questions, give us a call or email us. Thanks for watching.